I'm here with the dudes from Nail to Obscurity to talk about the upcoming new record, Generation of the Void, coming out September 5th on Nuclear Blast. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time while on vacation, hiking across Europe, doing some white people shit, let me tell you guys. That's totally some white people shit. Thank you very much for joining me to talk about the record. I want to get right into it. First of all, I love the title of the album, Generation of the Void. My interpretation is that we are living right now in a generation that's pretty voided of a lot of different things, but I want to, compassion being perhaps one of them. What is your take on this title? What inspired this title, and what does it mean to you guys?
I think the title grew a lot while we talked about that within the band. I think it's there is like an emotional quality to it because it's like, are we in a void? Are we like losing our abilities? Are we losing our let's say losing the ground underneath our feet? Is it more like that? But it can also be like a social critical statement, which is like the rise of right-wing extremity in the world. And also during the whole pandemic situation, everything changed somewhat. People are diving deep into rabbit holes throughout the internet. So is it like that? I like to leave this open a little bit, but I think it's a little bit of everything.
For me personally, like I said, I went with the second option in terms more of a social critic of you guys, but in a very vague way. So it's not smacking people in the face. You can kind of take it as you want and really make it your own statement, if you will. Now, when you look at the title of the record, how does that title of the record correlate to the sound that you guys created for this album?
Well, like always, we started out writing the music, and that inspired Raimund to write his lyrics. But also wanted to say about the title of the album that for me it's the same as you just described it, because when Raimund writes the lyrics, it's more from an intrinsic motivation, like it's more about emotions and the inner self and stuff like that. And for me and also Volker, we are the two main songwriters when it comes to the instrumental parts. Um, we saw it, we interpreted it the way you did, like more from a social aspect, and you know that's how we um, decided or went with this album title, because we found it interesting that you can see it from both sides and it works either way. But yeah, back to your question. The title itself didn't have an influence on the music in that sense. It's more like the other way around, that we start writing the music and then Raimund starts writing his lyrics based on that.
Yeah, it's more like I collect ideas throughout the years. I can say this and this uh, when it comes to this record, I collect a lot of ideas and try to make them fit to the song. And sometimes it's just listening to a song and it clicks, and then all of a sudden I have a completely fresh and new idea and make it fit the song. And I think when it comes to Generation of the Void, I think it's this title feels right for the whole record. And I like the way that it also clicked with Ole and Volker. Like they also created their own interpretation. I think this is also a pretty cool thing because I write these kind of lyrics from, like Ole said, from an intricate state of mind, and then I try to leave it as open as possible. And it's pretty cool that it touched the other guys in the band.
Yeah, and I think in the end, we all have the same influences. Like we are influenced by the everything that's happening around us in the world, and so the influences for the music that we wrote and for the lyrics are pretty much the same. So I think that's why it works well together.
Without a doubt, there's definitely the tapestry is very well woven together, if you will, in terms of the title, the lyrics, and the sound. And when it comes to the sound, I found this album to be perhaps the most diverse and versatile record that you guys ever released sonically. What inspired you guys to go with a sound that still is nailed to obscurity, but the borders are way further away than they've ever been?
Um, that was actually the one thing that we said right from the beginning, that was our goal, to write a more dynamic and diverse album than ever before. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's we basically tried to do everything differently than we ever did before, but in the end, it's still us writing it. So I think that's why it still sounds like us. I think it's as simple as that. Um, we can't change the way we sound entirely, I think, and we didn't want that. We just thought of things that we especially like about what we've done in the past, and then also about things that we always wanted to do and never achieved or never tried. And I think that's the result. We just didn't set any limits to ourselves, which we did in the past, I think. In the past, we were always afraid to do something that's too, well, that was out of our comfort zone, maybe. And now we were like, whatever, we listen to so many different kinds of music. Let's just do what we think sounds great and what we like. And with the idea in our minds to create a more diverse and more dynamic album.
And it definitely delivers. I was talking to my son yesterday about the record because I mean, by the time people are watching this, they already watched our video of Generation of the Void. We were recording our reaction review of that video, and then we were talking about the song, and I was talking to him about the record. And one of the things I mentioned to him is that this album has a lot of subtleties in the way the vocals are used and the way the sound is put together. And those subtleties to me make the album dynamic. And I wasn't sure when you guys created it, if you created it looking at, okay, we're going to use some harsh vocals here, more clean vocals there. We're going to go with more of a rock riff here, a little bit of a doomier riff there. Or was it more organic? Have you guys taken the time to look back, listen to the album, and see those subtleties? Or they were also, like you said, pre-programmed, if you will, into the vision that you guys had for the record?
Both, I would say. So when we start, everything comes together naturally. Like we don't have a like an outline for a song or anything like that. It's just there's an idea, a very basic idea. Sometimes it's just one riff, and we're like, well, this could become a chorus, so let's start from there and build something around it. And then at some point it clicks, and we've come up with the next idea, like the next missing piece of the that song that makes sense. And that's how we do that. But what was different this time, I mean, we've always done it, but now because this album was written mostly during COVID, was that we were forced to write in a studio situation, basically. So we had our home studio, um, and that's where all the songs were written. Whereas in the past, we usually did that as a very well, we always started out that way, but then when the songs were still very, very rough, we took them to the rehearsal space and finalized them there. So, and that's where it was very different this time, because we uh, at the point where we would usually take it to the rehearsal space and work on it together, we kept writing and going more into detail. And then we started to plan out things and outline the songs, how we envisioned them in the end. And also tried lots of things like those details with synth that we've never done to that extent before. And we just had a lot of time and possibilities to try out different things that we haven't done before, I guess. So we went really into detail because we were forced into that situation, basically. And then, yeah, and when it comes to the vocals, that was always pretty clear. But I think that was always the case before, that okay, here this part that this needs clean vocals. It doesn't work otherwise, and this part needs growls. And then what we do is that when we envision clean vocals for a certain part, then we also leave room for the melody, the lines that, or the vocal lines, and take back the leads and the guitars. And when there's growls, we know, oh, maybe we can add some lead guitars here to give some more depth to it and stuff like that. So we do that, but I think we just did it more than before on this album.
The approach that you guys took for this record, being different, being well, different from previous albums, how was it the production side of things? Did you guys change that as well?
Yes, part of it. So we in the past we always recorded, well, the Black Frost and King Delusion we recorded with V Santura from the guitar player of Triptychon and former Dark Fortress. He has a studio in Bavaria in Germany, and yeah, that's where we produced the entire records. And it's always been great to work with him, so we wanted to keep that and did the recording with him this time again as well. But then we wanted a change in the sound, so we went with Jacob Hansen for the mix and master. And what we also did is that we recorded the vocals with Jacob in Denmark. So that was the only thing from the recording side that changed. And yeah, mix and master was done this time by Jacob. And a few things I recorded in our home studio, but that didn't really make the huge difference. The big difference in the sound was going with a second producer for the mix and the master.
That dude is a freaking genius, man. Everything he
Yeah.
touches sounds amazing. I honestly, I, I don't even know how he has time to sleep, considering how much stuff he does and how much work he gets done. It's incredible because this album, before you joined the call, before we started recording, I was talking to Raymond about the sound. And I was telling him that normally in a more melancholic, doomier sounding record, the album doesn't have as much size sonically. And this
Mhm.
record sounds massive sonically, but it still sounds very dark and melancholic and sad. And the combination of the two make the record so powerful from a sound standpoint. And I think that
Yeah.
is such a great attribute that this record has.
And
I
that's
think
why we
this is
went with
also,
him.
yeah, but I think this is also a testament to the great pre-production we did. So that was mainly, I think, in full done by Ole. That was also the the whole preparation for the actual recordings, especially for the vocals for my part, was so much better. We had like an outline for each and every harmony, vocal, and everything, and I could really learn the songs, nurture the songs for myself, and then like somewhat own them while I recorded them with Jacob Hansen, which was also a different situation for me, recording with him, except for instead of Victor Centura. This is really um, it felt already felt different while we did it. It already
Yeah.
felt bigger in the studio and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the songs were just really completely finished before we went into the studio. Whereas before we always tried out things while we recorded and changed things and or weren't as prepared as we were now. So that clearly made a difference. But also, I mean, obviously what you just described is the reason why we went with Jacob. I think it's at least the only producer that I know who manages to have this really heavy and fat sound
Yeah.
while keeping like a depth and atmosphere to it without it sounding too mechanical or too cold. It's like a very heavy 3D sound in a way. That's how I
Yeah,
would describe it.
he has the ability on this record. He had the ability to get the most out of everything that you guys did. Like there was nothing left on the table. Do you know what I mean? Like if he was making orange juice with oranges, he squeezed those oranges until the last drop. And I think that makes the record stand out tremendously because when you're listening to the album, you don't feel like the sound reaches a perimeter and bounces back to you. It just feels like the sound is just keeps moving.
Hmm.
And that adds such great atmosphere to the overall at some in some tracks really bleak nature of the song, of the emotion that comes with the track. And for a band like you guys that really lives off of that emotion, if you cannot transmit that emotion through sound and through vocals, you're losing the listener. So I think
Hmm.
it nails it. This record like absolutely nails it on every single song. And the other thing for me is because of its diversity, when you get to the end of the record, you're ready to go back to the beginning because you don't feel like you've heard uh, 10 songs, 11 songs that all sound the same. You know what I mean? So I think that is also a great attribute that the record has, the track listing. You guys created a very dynamic track listing. Is that something that you guys spend some time on, or you just throw some songs together, hope for the best?
I think I think there is some sort of journey, and I think there went a lot of thought into the whole track list itself. And I think Ole can tell a little more about it because it's more um, we make it work, uh, especially on the instrumental side of things. Um, but I would say that yeah, that is a big giant journey, and like you said, while you finished it, you're ready to do the journey again. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the track list, I mean, for some songs we had certain ideas. For example, the Ides of Life, the last track on the album, we that was written to be the last song on the album. So we at some point we knew, okay, this needs an epic outro, and that's going to be the end of the album. That was while we were writing it, we knew that already. Or Allure, where we thought, well, this is the ballad of the album, which we haven't done before or haven't had before. Um, so we knew this time we want such a track on the album, and that usually is not the opening track. So we also had an idea for that. But then many other songs we weren't really that sure about, and then we just discussed it with the band, and this was the result. Like we were just democratic about it, and this was the track list everybody felt comfortable with.
You guys have, by the way, Allure is one of my favorite songs on the record. Really, like I think it's one of the best songs that the album has, which is a hard thing to say because every fucking song is good. And speaking of
Thank you.
every fucking song being good, how was it with the singles? Because you guys have released a lot of singles for this record. There's a lot of music out there. So when the album comes out September 5th, I'm not going to say there's very little to discover because you're still going to listen to them now in the context of the album, which is a different experience altogether. And there's still a lot of music to discover. But how do you guys balance the modern world of everybody wanting singles on Spotify and then the ability to, when the album comes out, still have the excitement for people to go and check it out because there's still a lot of stuff that you haven't heard before? How do you balance these two worlds?
I mean, I think we're kind of, and or all bands are kind of forced to release a certain amount of singles because otherwise songs just get lost and don't get the attention they deserve. Um, so we try to do as many as we can, and that's the limit is usually the budget, to be honest, because I wouldn't mind to release all the songs as singles. I think there are some technical things depending on the platform that they don't want to like artists to release all the songs of an album because otherwise the album would be pointless. But me personally, when it comes down to releasing music, I want as many people as possible to get the chance to listen to it or to show it to as many people as possible. And releasing singles seems to be the way to do that. On the other hand, the album format is still very important to us, but I don't think if the songs have been released before, even if it's more. Now we released, how many singles did we release? Four?
Five.
Five.
Five already. Five, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
Generation of the Void is the fifth.
Yeah, five already. And yeah, there's still a lot to discover. And even if we'd released all the songs as singles over the time, I think it still has a value as an album, and people would listen through it as an album. And also there's physical records as well. So I don't know. It was really hard to decide which ones to release. So that was also democratic again, and we involved our label Nuclear Blast for that, and asked them for their opinion, because we just needed more opinions, because otherwise we wanted to release all of them as singles, basically. Some are obviously too long, so that was one factor. But then we were still left with too many options, and that's what we decided. These songs were the ones where we decided this makes the most sense. And then some of them, like Clouded Frame and Liquid Morning, they were just done way before the rest of the album was written. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had recorded those already. So that there we didn't have the choice, and we just went with those. And then later on we just discussed what we think makes the most sense. And I still feel that there are more songs that we should have released as singles, but yeah, there's a limit. Like a limit what you can do, especially if you shoot a video for each track, which we did. It's just at some point you have to
When you run out of
stop.
money. You guys don't
Money and time, and
I was gonna say you guys don't have electric callboy budgets, so you guys got to keep it.
no.
You guys got to keep it controlled. Um, uh, I really enjoyed watching the videos. I think you guys put there's always a connection between the vibe of the song and what you guys offer in the video, and I think that's really important. I have two more questions for you guys. One is to Raymond about his vocals. You sound incredible on this album. Super connected to the lyrics and super connected to the sound. You really come across as a very somber storyteller, someone who has the weight of the world on his shoulders as you sing these songs. Um, does it feel good for you to exercise some of those demons through these tracks and through these lyrics?
Absolutely. It has always been the case. Uh, Maybe this is the biggest thing for me as a vocalist, to channel my own emotion through the lyrics and through my performance as well. Um, yeah, it's like writing a diary. It's really, I don't know, it's really honest from the soul, but I also try to make the lyrics themselves like open to any kind of interpretation, because this is also important, because I want the listener to find a link to the lyrics. Like the listener has his own key to the lyrics. This is mandatory. But yeah, I feel very, very comfortable with channeling my emotions through the lyrics and opening uh, the whole ideas up to the audience that listens to these kind of tracks. So the moment we release these kind of tracks, they belong to someone else. While it's still, I would say, my thought process that created them, if that makes any sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, I it's pretty honest stuff. Yeah.
You know, when we were watching the Generation of the Void video, not only we were blown away, me personally, but my son I know as well was blown away by your vocal performance. I was super jealous of your hair. I think your hair looks incredible in that video, by the way. I was like, why
Thank you
not
very much.
me? Why can't I have that hair? Oh my God, it looked amazing. Like, all of you guys look amazing in that video, and it's such a beautiful song, such beautiful vocals on that track. I want to finish off our conversation with a chance to plug your European tour, headlining tour starting in November. You guys going to be playing in all major cities. I'm going to see you guys in Copenhagen. I'm going to be there while you guys are there. So I'm super excited to finally see you guys live. I cannot wait. I'm there with my wife, so the two of us are coming to the show. super, super hyped. I can't believe I booked this trip. I'm staying for a couple of extra days and you guys are in town at the same time as me, so this is fucking phenomenal. But how excited are you guys to head on this headlining run across Europe with a brand new record in your back pocket?
Super excited, obviously, especially since I mean, we've toured a lot during the past years, but this is the first time we can finally play the set that we always wanted to play, like not only 45 minutes or 50 minutes or sometimes even 30 minutes, that we played lots of those tours, but then you always end in the moment when it's the most fun, like you want to keep going and then you have to stop playing. And now I don't know how long it's going to be, but probably like 80, 90 minutes. We still need to, yeah, see how that goes and which songs we are going to play and start rehearsing soon. So this is going to happen soon, but yeah, we're super excited. So we're basically starting to work on these things now, and yeah,
And it's a great lineup, by the way. It's a great lineup.
yeah, we're also very excited about the other bands, which we haven't seen live before. So
Neither have I.
it's
I mean, I'm checking so many
yeah.
boxes at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know you guys were, I knew you guys were touring in Europe, but I didn't know you were going to be on that day. And when I found out, I was super excited because it's a great lineup. But also because you guys are going to be playing a headlining set. So I'm thinking you guys probably going to end up playing a bunch of the singles from the new record, a bunch of the old stuff. So it really, for someone who's never seen you guys live, this really gives me an opportunity to get the full experience.
Yeah, and I hope you will get that. I mean, that's the problem since it's the first time headlining, we basically want to play all the songs, but that's not possible. So that's the biggest challenge right now actually is to find the right songs, like a good set list. But I think I mean I know what we've discussed so far, and I think that's pretty much what you're saying, like a pretty good best of what we've done so far with a lot of new stuff, of course. So yeah,
It's a
it's going to be
completely
really
new
great.
challenge. It's a completely new challenge to
Yeah.
yeah, create a set list for so much time and that makes sense, but that like touches all the feels, all the albums, so to speak. But also like showcasing Generation of the Void is the new album, like the new version of Nail to Obscurity, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, looking forward to that very, 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 very much.
Well,
Yeah.
if you guys need something from Canada, let me know, some maple syrup or some shit like that. I can always bring that in my suitcase and bring it to the show. Just hit me up, let me know. On the description of this video, I'm going to put a pre-order link for the album, and I'm also going to put a link for the tour so people can go pick up some tickets if they are in Europe to come and see you guys. If they're not in Europe, they should do what I'm doing, which is flying to Europe to catch these shows. So, especially because if you're flying there, if you're really organized well, it's almost like going to a festival because I'm going to be in Denmark for 4 nights and I'm watching 3 shows. So it really feels like kind of a festival kind of setting. I hope to see you guys in North America as well at some point in time. I know visa costs are super expensive these days, and I know there's all sorts of logistics that costs an absolute arm and a leg and even perhaps a kidney. But until then, until you guys announce something for North America, we have this huge European tour that I hope you guys are going to be super successful with it, all sold out shows. This album, I'm going to tell you guys this, but I said it on our video that's coming out. Like I said, when people are watching this, the video is already out. But when we recorded the video, I said this album is going to be in my top 10 albums of the year. The question is, in what position is it going to be in? But it's going to be in my top 10. It's a phenomenal record, like just phenomenal record. I absolutely love this album. I love what you guys have done. Congratulations. I wish you nothing but success with it.
Thank you very much. I don't really know what to say, but we appreciate it a lot, and it's great to hear such a positive and nice feedback. And also, yeah, thanks for supporting us the way you do, and coming to our show. That's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to meet you in person.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, whatever I can do to get this album sold everywhere, hit some charts everywhere, I'm gonna do it because I believe in this record. I love this record, and I want everybody to love it as much as I do, and I want everybody to listen to it. And so whatever I can do to promote and push the word out there, I'm gonna do it. And like I said, this album is one of the best albums I've heard all year. And I listen to a lot of music. This album is phenomenal. You guys really nailed it. Really nailed it.
Thank you
Thank you so
so,
much.
so very much. Really, really, it's kind of overwhelming to hear such a huge treatment to our music, such a great feedback, and thank you so much. Yeah, I'm losing my words. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just to finish off, I just want to say this. I knew I was going to come and see you guys before I heard the record. So when I went into the album, I'm like, I hope this is good, because I was like, if the album is not good and I'm going to come and see them, I don't want to say the album is not good. You know what I mean? I felt like so conflicted with. I hope this is good. Like I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope this is good. And then when I press play, it's like, it's good. It's so
But you
good.
know, that would have been okay too. You know, we like honest feedback.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
but
Yeah, yeah.
I was concerned because like I wanted to be good, but I didn't know if it was going to be good because there's been some albums this year from some bands that I love that came out and I was completely disappointed by them. So I didn't want that to happen, but no disappointments here. So thank you very
Okay,
much for your
very good.
time. Go enjoy your vacations and I'll see you guys in December in Copenhagen.
Thank you very
See
much,
you in
and yeah, see you
Copenhagen.
there.
See you there.